Good afternoon. This is Ivan Meyer. It's 4 o'clock. Just got back from my shift at Dinty's. Was today busy, Ivan? No, today was not that busy, but towards the end of my shift, it was crazy, man. Like, they kept bringing in a bunch of kitchen dishes. I closed at like 3:30, man. I ended 30 minutes past my initial end time for work. Usually I end around 2:50, 3 o'clock on the dot. Today I ended at 3:30 because I had a lot of kitchen dishes to wash. It's crazy. But even though it was pretty crazy, it's not like Cold 40, right? Cold 40 is crazy, man. Yeah. And tomorrow I'm going to clean my room, guys. My room is if you saw my room's a mess. I have like a bunch of cans here. The floor is dirty and yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to clean it. I'll make my video in the morning. I'm off tomorrow, and after that I'm going to clean my room. I'll watch the show with you guys. Will you do your Ivan's go through series today, Ivan? Maybe, or I might do it tomorrow. Episode 2. Obviously. So you guys are gonna see the whole episode of me. You guys are gonna see the whole episode of me going over all of Volume 3. You're looking at maybe 50, 60, 70, 80 part series, whatever it is. Maybe 80 episodes, 70 episodes. Of me going over all of Volume 3. And if I write They're Unique, I will also make a series where I type it on my computer. Or I might purchase a laptop and I type it on my laptop. I film myself typing on my laptop. I might do that if I write They're Unique, which I highly doubt I'm going to, obviously. They're Unique is highly unlikely. Yeah. How much do I have? And I'm 262. So I gained 2 pounds because I've been stupid with my eating the past couple weeks. But I have my Dinty's food, so I'm gonna eat that, and yeah. Are you looking for another job, Ivan? Yeah, I'm looking for another full-time job. Because right now I'm not full-time. I'm part-time at Dinty's, and I'm also part-time at Go. I only work 3 days. The other guy works 5 days. I work 3 days. And because he gets paid his $17, $18 an hour, he's pulling in his $950,000. So I'm making my $600. I asked the boss for more shifts. He won't give me more shifts at Go 40. That's why I'm looking for another job where I can get full-time hours. How much days do we ask to work a week? I'll ask to work 5 days. 5 days. I want 2 days off a week, obviously. Yeah. 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 So you're sick and tired of doing blood, sweat, tears. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of doing blood, sweat, tears for peanuts. Like all these guys at work at Coco 40 and Dinty's, they all make like their 40, 50,000 a year, and I'm making my I don't know, 16 grand a year, 17 grand a year doing minimum wage. That's why the Gates are not touching a dime off my book royalties. My money's for me and my wife. It's not for you. You want to steal my billion? I don't know, my $10 million while you make your trillions. You're crazy. $10 million from me, BJ. It's not for you. Yeah. He's hired. How's why you made off your book? By the way, I made $10.8 million. You made $10.8 million off your book, almost $11 million. And yeah, she's like, holy shit. We can build that 500 house. Like, yeah, we can build that 500 house and find the savings for $2.4 million. $800 million per volume. Yeah. 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 So the gatekeepers are selfish. Yeah, like you won't let VJ make money. You won't let me make any money. And all of a sudden, when I write my book and you know I have the keys and I own the rights to it, you also want to steal my money too because you're a crazy person when you make your trillions every year. No, Ivan, this is our house. We don't want anyone controlling our money, Ivan. I'm like, yes, this may be your house, but you didn't create this place. I did, and so I'm the rightful heir, not you. You didn't create the earth and the universe. Me, VJ, and you don't search on my money. You're not God, man. You're not the God of the heavens. You may be the God of the earth, the God of the money system, but you're not the God of the heavens who created the whole universe. You're not the rightful heir of being Vijay, and you know it. You're just blinded by your envy. Because you're crazy, yeah. And so I'm not going to let the gates do by that, man. I'd rather wake up 1 million and have you destroy my life and steal my money, man. I'm not going to let you steal my money when you make your trillions every year. You're crazy. You make your trillions every year, you're not touching a dime off my blades. I know the $10.8 million off the books for me, BJ. It's not for you. I'm not gonna have you take my money. No way. Zero. It's my money, not yours. See what I'm saying? Yeah. I have the keys. I'm gonna sell to you, man. I have the keys to the kingdom. Yeah. Yeah. I saw the other chick today. The other chick who I like too. She works evening shifts, right? When I talk about her and remind you, well, I saw her today. Yeah, I said hi, but I can't. For me to get her number, I have to work an evening shift. Because she doesn't work mornings, she works evenings. I used to work evenings and see her, but if I work evenings, I will not see the other chick. But the other chick, I haven't seen her what? In in like a month, man. And she says she's leaving after around September, August. She's leaving, so chances of me her not happening, man. Because I work Wednesdays, I don't see her. Yeah, she used to work Tuesdays. But I don't work Tuesdays all summer. I work Wednesdays. And around fall, I'll probably get my Tuesday shifts back. But I don't know. But the other chick, she works there. I have to work evenings. I might ask the boss if they can switch my shifts to evening shifts. I can work an evening shift instead of a morning shift. The morning shifts, I make more money. I work 8 to 3, a 7-hour shift. Evening shifts, I work a 5-hour shift. So I don't make as much money. Evening shift is like 4 to 9, 5 to 9. Morning shifts is 8 to 3. I work 8 to 3 in the morning, so I make more money. I prefer morning shifts because after I'm done, morning shifts I don't have to close. Like evening shifts, you have to close, obviously. You have to wash out every single dish. But weekdays, it's not that bad, right? Yeah. Ivan, who's harder, the evening shift or the morning shift? It's like a back and forth, right? They're both hot. You can argue the evening shift's harder. The evening shift chick is harder. You can also argue the morning one. The morning one you can argue is harder by a bit. She has more of the face, but I mean, you can also argue your chick's hard. It's a back and forth. They're both attractive chicks, beautiful chicks, obviously. Yeah. I gotta lose this weight and get my first girlfriend, obviously. Yeah. Ivan, you have a wife. Yeah, Victoria Justice is a cheating whore. And she's seeing guys behind my back, and she had her first boy because I'm 100% justified to get my girlfriend. And I'm not gonna show VJ pity when she cries at me. Ivan, don't fall for VJ's crying, man. She's being manipulative. She's trying to for you. She's trying to get you to have pity for her. Don't fall for it. She's still gonna keep seeing the guys Ivan. What would you do with that? Even if she cries heavy to you, Ivan, you're hurting me. She's a crazy woman. Watch, a couple hours later, I'm gonna hear her moaning again. She's crazy, VJ. Your wife VJ is a crazy woman. I just ignore her. She's a crazy woman. Yeah. I'm gonna ignore you, VJ. I'm not gonna show you pity, man. Because you're gonna keep seeing the guys in bed and everything. I can't take you seriously. You're crazy. You're a crazy woman, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I like them. Yeah, I like her too. I like her too. There you go. Don't hate her, son. Yeah. Yeah. So Ivan, Zane's more popular than Harry Potter? Yes. It'll be more popular than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. That's how popular my book will be. Yeah, and the gates know that's why they want to control it. My brand right now. You know, Ivan's brand will be more popular than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. He's gonna sell out all his 700 million copies, 650, 680 million copies. And he makes his like 10.8, 11, 12 billion dollars off his book. We want to control that, yeah, even though you make your trillions every year because you're fucking greedy, man, yeah. Yeah. Are the gates crazy people? Yeah, today before I left to work, my stepfather, he tried to get money from me, and he's Ivan, my account's negative. I need the money. I won't tell you what it is, but he's like, I need the money now, Ivan. My account's negative. That's how you know they're wicked people, man. I'm like, no, your account's not negative. You're acting. You have trillions in your bank. You're just a crazy person, man. That's why you're not touching a dime off my book, man. Because even when I'm poor, the family's take money from me. They're crazy people. Yeah, even when Ivan makes his 800, 900 bucks every week, that's take money from him. When you're making your trillions because you're a crazy person. That's why you're not touching a dime of my book, man. Zero. The mind off doesn't mean it's not for you. There you go. You're gonna dupe me too if I sell mine. Idiot. You dupe VJ. She's only worth $12. You're gonna dupe me too. You won't let me be a billionaire, man. You're blind by your empty, man, because you're crazy. No, I'm not envious. I don't want you to become a multi-billionaire. Yeah, that's why God gave you the keys. All right. I know you don't like the keys, and people hate you with the keys, but that's how you open your door. Right? That's how you open the door. Yeah. Make your easy billions. God gave me the keys because me and VJ are the heirs to the kingdom. That's why he gave both me and VJ the keys. But VJ's stupid. She sold out to the gatekeepers when she has the keys, and now she's crying at me to get her out of Hollywood because she knows she fucked up. Yeah. She has a shitty career. A sabotage shitty career. She does singles. She does all these guest roles and shows, and she does all these shitty independent movies, and she makes like her 300, 250K, 500K for it. She wants to make the billions with me off the movie, the box office, the film profits, the $4 billion movie. That's why she cries at me, because she wants me to get out of Hollywood. She wants to like me, BJ. She got duped. She knows she got duped, yeah. Ivan, the folks actually told you that their account's negative. Yeah, my account's negative, Ivan. I need the money now. I'm just like, oh man, you guys are wicked people. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, your account's not negative. Yeah, your acting account might be negative because you hit your wall, but I know you're the gatekeeper. You have your choice in your bank. You're just a crazy person, man. You're a greedy psychopath. Yeah. Like, they're actually getting pissed at me, man. Like, I need the money now. You know what I'm saying? Like, our account's negative and all that stuff. I mean, these guys are wicked people. Yeah, man. Even when I'm poor, they try to take money from me because they're greedy psychopaths. That's why you're not touching a dime off my book, man. The money only goes to me, it's not for you. You're not touching it. There you go. Zero. It's my money, not yours. You're not touching a dime of my money. Yeah. Would you ever give them a piece of it or half? Zero. They're not taking a dime of my money, man. This is my brand. You won't let me touch your money, not touch my money here. That's how it works. And the gates will never even they won't even let me take 50% of the money. Like, Ivan, either we control your brand or you suffer the consequences. You have to pay me with your wife, Ivan. I choose the other choice. I'm not going to do it, man. No way. That's how greedy the gates are. They'll never let me control my full brand. No, Ivan, either we control your brand or you suffer the consequences because you're fucking with our money. I'm like, I'm not fucking with your money. You're making your trillions every year. Yeah, the entertainment industry is affected a little bit, but you're still making your tens of trillions. You're just a greedy psychopath. You're not the heir to the game. You didn't create this place. This money, this, I don't know, $10.8 million on the books for me, WJ, it's not for you. You're just a greedy pig, yeah. I have 3 beers. Should I drink one now or should I drink it after my video? I don't know. I'm gonna save my beer. Yeah. 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 Off tomorrow. So I can make a video for you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll do my go through series again. Yeah. That was pretty sick. Yeah, my go through series is pretty interesting. What I'll do is when I do my go through series, I'm gonna make comments. Make comments while I make my video. That way the video's not boring, right? Like I did yesterday, I made some comments. Yeah, while I'll go over my book. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not really interested in asset based businesses, no, I'm not. I'm not interested in hotels. Hotels is boring and it's risky too. I'm not interested in parks. Parks is the only one that's actually pretty cool, but parks is also risky too. You could lose a lot of money owning a park. And for parks, you have to like hire like hundreds of thousands of employees, man, if you want to have a big park. Yeah, because I was thinking of having this like maybe this like amazing like park, this like water park or something like that. But parks cost a lot of money, like $1 billion if you want to have build a unheard park. You can lose money, man. They're very expensive, and you can lose a lot of money owning a park. And restaurants, I'm not interested at all in restaurants either. I've been working in restaurants my whole life. I don't care about restaurants, right? Restaurants is boring and it's a depressing environment. I'm more into the movies and that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, that's why I'm gonna start Sky's name with VJ. Yeah. Will you and VJ build a park? No. As the money I make off the movie merchant games enough, we don't need more money. VJ will tell me, yeah, even the money we make off Skies is enough. We don't need more money, yeah. There's a saying in what how much money is enough, right? If you make 20 billion, 25 billion off the movie merchant game, 20 billion off the movie merchant game, that's enough money for me, VJ. We don't need more money. Yeah. It's enough money. Lasts us for thousands of years, right? Yeah. Will you ever retire from acting, Ivan? No, I want to be acting forever, man. I'm never gonna get tired of acting. Me and VJ might perhaps take maybe, if we're really tired, we might take maybe 2 years off, but we're gonna keep acting in movies forever. My phases will be ongoing. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, Phase 7, Phase 8. It's ongoing, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Instead, if the Matrix thing doesn't work, I might consider doing Spider-Man Miles Morales. Purchasing the rights off Sony for the rights off Spider-Man Miles Morales. The licensing rights to make a movie with Spider-Man Miles Morales over the Matrix, right? Because the Matrix is highly unlikely. They're doing Matrix 5, so the Matrix is highly unlikely. So I can have a talk with you. Do you want to do the greatest David Galleries, or do you want to do a Spider-Man, maybe like a 4 or 5 movie Spider-Man series? Yeah, I play Spider-Man Miles Morales. VJ plays my girlfriend. Yeah, obviously. And seeing me as Spider-Man is fucking cool. You can argue it's even cooler than seeing me as the one, right? They're both cool, obviously, but the Matrix is highly unlikely. They're doing Matrix 5, man. Unless it goes into development hell, the Matrix with Michael Jordan's highly unlikely. It's most likely going to be the greatest of Keanu Reeves. Or I might consider purchasing, instead of doing Spider-Man Miles Morales for Phase 2, me and VJ can do a 4-movie Spider-Man series. But I have to purchase the rights off Sony. Because Sony owns the Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man brands, obviously, right? You know. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Do a 4-movie series for that. Me as Spider-Man, right? Yeah. So you asked BJ, what? Hey, they already did Matrix 5, so Matrix is out of the picture. Do you want to do the greatest Escape of Keanu Reeves, or do you want to do like a 4-movie Spider-Man series? Like you play my girlfriend and I'm Spider-Man. Yeah. So I'm saying, highly unlikely. It was most likely to be the greatest of Keanu Reeves, guys. Yeah. After Xanus, right? What's your idea for the story? I don't know that much about Spider-Man. I have to read the comics. What you have to do is you have to read the Spider-Man Miles Morales comics, and you come up with a story based off the comics. It doesn't have to be based off the comics, but you can get ideas from the comics. But my idea is Spider-Man Miles Morales is he's an adult. He's not a kid, obviously. He's not a 17-year-old kid. He's an adult. He's a matured Spider-Man. Or something like that, right? Something cool like that, yeah. He's older. Yeah. Xanus is my first movie, based off my amazing novel that I wrote, The Last Hope for Xanus. Published in 3 volumes, right? One story told in 3 volumes. Ivan, seriously, man, what's the best volume? Well, in my opinion, volume 3 is the best, but you can argue volume 2 is better. You can even argue volume 1 is better. It just depends on the art hits you. But volume 1 is just the build-up of the story. Hence why it's the worst one. It's going to be a debate between volume 2 and volume 3. Yeah, Ivan's volume 3 was a little bit more raw in some sections, but the scenes blew my mind away more than volume 2. But volume 2, the flow of the dialogue, you can argue, is better. And it's a back and forth, yeah. But volume 3 is when the scenes blow your mind away, the plot blows your mind away. That's why it's my favorite. You can argue volume 2 is better, it just depends on the art issue. I think most fans will like volume 2 the best, just because volume 3 arguably is a little bit more raw in some sections of the book. Most of it's top notch, but it's a little bit more raw when you read it compared to volume 2. Hence why I think most fans are going to like volume 2 the best. But some fans will like volume 2 the best, and some fans will even like volume 1 the best. It just depends how the art hits you, right? Yeah, I love the whole thing, the light behind the walls. In Young Tactius, the prologue, 20 years later, then Tactius leaves the walls. I love the whole thing, the light behind the walls in Xanus. That's pretty cool. So if you're more into that, you'll like Volume 1 the best, but I highly doubt it. Volume 1 is the build-up of Volume 2 and Volume 3 of the next 2 volumes. Yeah. And it's the most linear, too. Like, half of it is linear. It's just about the Northerns and the behind the walls of Xanus. But then when Tactius leaves the walls, that's when you get different stories. Like, you have Cassius and Tacitonia's story. You have Tactius and Papari's story in Volume 1. And you have also a little bit of Aratat's story in Volume 1, too. And in Volume 2 is when it's no longer linear. You have like 4 different plots going on. Maramis and Queen Sarah and Lithius and Xanus. You have Tacitonius and Cassius. You have Tactius, Sirius and Papari and the Southerns. And you have Aratat and Barak. So you have 4 different stories going on. What's the least linear of the 3 volumes? Volume 2 is the least linear. Because you have like 4 stories going on. And in Volume 3 is not linear like Volume 1, but because Tactius and all them meet Cassius and Tacitonius, now you have all those guys, and you have Aratat's story, and you have what's going on in Xanus. So you have three stories. So Volume 2, you have 4 stories, 4 different plots going on. Volume 1, you have the first half of it. You have 1 plot with the Northerns behind the walls in Xanus. Then once Tactius leaves the walls, now you have 2 plots. 3 plots. But because the first half of it is very linear, Volume 1 is the most linear. And once Tactius leaves the walls, that's when it's no longer linear. You have like different stories going on. 3 stories going on in Volume 1 after Tactius leaves the walls. In Volume 2, you have 4 stories, 4 plot lines. And in Volume 3, you have 3 plot lines. So Volume 2 is the least linear of the 3 volumes when you read it. Yeah, I think, right? Yeah. Susanna? Yeah. Yeah. Samsara? Yeah. So, I mean, you're admitting that Lord of the Rings is richer in terms of world building. Oh, yeah. Lord of the Rings is much richer than my book in world building, man. Like, J.R.R. Tolkien's world building is so rich. Nobody can top that. It's too rich, man. As it took him more than a decade to write Lord of the Rings. He really, 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 like, put in the work and create a beautiful world of Middle Earth, man. Middle Earth is too deep, too rich. No fantasy author can top that world building. It's too deep. Even my book doesn't top that. I think my world building is more unique, but even that, it's not as deep as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is very, very deep with language of the elves. And J.R.R. Tolkien describes everything, the armor, the landscape, everything. Whereas my book, I don't do that. It's more, I keep it vague, but it jumps out on the page, my world building, because the characters make it jump on the page. I describe the world building through the character's perspective, and it makes it jump on a page. That cannot be. Why would a northern come here to the south? And it makes the world jump out, but it's more vague, my world. Yeah. As you guys read my book and you read Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings by far is much more richer than my book in terms of the in-depth details of the world and everything and the history, even deeper history. My history is deep too, but even in my history is not as deep as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, you have 3 ages, right? Like a 3,000-year history. My book only has a 1,000-year history. And Tolkien has the appendices describing all these people buried in Luthien and all that stuff. Yeah, it's very deep. The Hammerhead. Yeah, the history of the dwarves is very deep, Lord of the Rings. And the elves too, yeah. And the men of Numenor. Yeah. Yeah. Because Aragorn is one of the Dunedain, the men blessed with long life. He's a descendant of the men of Numenor. When you read Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, he's a descendant of the men of. I believe I'm right there. Lord of the Rings, help me out here. Am I right there? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he's a descendant of the men of Numenor, I believe, right? Yeah. Lord of the Rings, the world building and everything, and the story is so rich and in depth that, like, for me personally, I have to read it like 3 times just to grasp maybe 30-40% of it. It's very deep, very rich. Like, I can't grasp the story. It's too deep, it's too much, man. It's too deep, too rich. You even forget half the lands, you forget half the characters. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Whereas my book is not as deep, obviously, but my story is richer. It's a better story. And the characters are better too. They jump out on the page. Whereas Lord of the Rings, they feel a bit dry and dull when you read it, obviously. They jump out a little bit, but it feels more dry when you read it, Lord of the Rings, right? And even though Tolkien is a better writer than Ivan in terms of, like, the English literature and his in-depth detail of his world building, man, like, his story is not as interesting as Ivan's. So yeah, my story is more interesting. Last one is more interesting, man. You guys read, right? It may be less detailed and more vague, but still the more entertaining read. At the end of the day, it comes out to entertainment. If you entertain the reader more, you wrote the better book. Hence why I wrote The Last of Us is better than Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah. I guarantee you, people say, yeah, I read sections of your book. Yeah, your book is more interesting than Lord of the Rings. It looks more interesting than Lord of the Rings. Holy shit, man, your book is sick. I know, Peter, my book is sick. I can't wait to adopt that. Yeah, Peter. Looking at a masterpiece. Or Mel Gibson, right? Whoever I choose. People even tell me, guarantee, yeah, I enjoyed your book more than Jerry Tolkien. Even though Jerry Tolkien has richer world and everything, and your book's a bit more raw because you did everything yourself, I enjoyed your book more than Lord of the Rings. I know, Peter, it's better than the Rings. Yeah. Samsara? tomorrow I'm gonna clean my room, guys. I'm actually gonna be serious. Once I make my video in the morning, I'm gonna dedicate a good 45 minutes. I'm gonna clean the heck out of my room, man. I'm gonna clean it thoroughly. Move this chair, put all the cans in the bag, sweep, wash my bed sheets. Obviously, organize my clothes here a little bit, organize my books here a little bit, and yeah. Will you write there unique? I might think about it once I get my book. Once my book is proofread, and I design my cover, and the last of Xanus is now ready to be released on Hulu, I might perhaps considering finishing their unique. But I want to buy myself a laptop, obviously, but I'm scared the Gates are going to hack it again, right? They hacked my laptop before and they ruined my laptop. But this time I'm not stupid. I'm going to save it on my Hotmail, obviously. That way, you know what I'm saying? If I spent $400 on my used laptop, that Dell laptop that I had, remember that, guys? Yeah, the Gates fucking ruined my laptop, man. Yeah, man. More money for me, VJ, if I write their unique. I highly doubt, though, but I might think about it. Once the book is proofread, and I design my cover, I might consider it. Should I finish their unique, and I'll re-brainstorm it, because I have new ideas. And I might write the book. If I dedicate a good 5 months, and I write 5 pages every day, I'll finish the book in like 5 months, obviously. And because I'm a creative genius, I'm that when I show you snippets of their unique, you're also going to be hooked too. As what I showed you, right? You're going to be hooked because I'm a creative genius. I know how to tell a good story. Yeah. If I write their unique and things, I'll be making my 20 plus billion off the book, man. I'm like 24, 25 billion, maybe 30 billion off the 2 books around there, right? 25 billion I make off the 2 books. I make more money from me, VJ, but I highly doubt I'm gonna write their unique. VJ, I haven't write their unique. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna write it. I highly doubt. I might write it, but I highly doubt it, man. Writing a book's a lot of work, man. And if I write their unique, I also have to get that proofread too. Yeah. But it's more money for me, VJ. We'll make more money. We'll make her like 25 billion, whatever it is, 24 billion off the 2 books. Yeah. If you write their unique, will it be better than Xanus? It'll be close. It'll be very close. When you guys read their unique, you were also impressed. So yeah, I was hooked reading that. Yeah, that's a good start to your story, yes. Their unique will also be an amazing story too. But I think Xanus will top it because fantasy is better than romance. But maybe the woman around the world might like their unique better because women love romance, obviously. I have a romance book here. The proposal I showed you guys, written by Jasmine. I'm saying. Written by Jasmine Gullery. I read it in the hospital. Yeah, it's a pretty good book. But even this book is not as good as their unique. Yeah. She's a good author, Jasmine Gullery. She's a USA Today best-selling author, right? This book here, The Proposal. Yeah, I read it in the hospital. It's a 300-page book. Yeah. Yeah. Some Sarah? Ivan, man, why don't you write books, man? Why don't you do both? Because I'm gonna be stressed out. I can easily write books and act in movies when I'm getting, but like, I don't. Being an author is not my dream. My dream is being a movie star. It's not being an author. Don't get me wrong, man. Writing books is fun. It's very cool being a best-selling author, and the fans love your book. But it's not as cool as being a movie star, being featured on the red carpet events and magazines and everything. With VJ, I'd rather be a movie star, but books is more money. I'll tell VJ, yeah, VJ, if we write books, we'll make way more money than even movies because our books are going to sell hundreds of millions of copies. Obviously. Yeah, but it's more boring just writing books and the fans of you. I'd rather be a movie star. I don't make as much money doing movies, but I still make my billions, right? I might even make more doing movies, and you never know, but for movies, I'm still gonna make my billions off the movie, right? Yeah. You each are still gonna make our billions. And my dream is to be a movie star. It's not big enough, honestly. And that's why I'm gonna focus on being a movie star with BJ. I only wrote Xanus. I had no choice. The doors were locked on me. And that's why I wrote Xanus, because I knew the gatekeepers locked the doors on me. I had no choice. What's that? Hey, give me a second. I was going to go upstairs and get a coffee for myself. Back in a sec. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Went upstairs to brew my fresh coffee. The folks printed my resume. So after this video, I'm gonna bike to the Shadow Cartier Hotel. I want to apply there for the dishwashing position. I also applied to Elmer Barbecue and the Mexican restaurant next to there. I'll apply there for a line or dishwasher. But I'll make the video first. I'll upload it, and then I'll bike to Shadow Cartier and I'll apply there. Yeah. So in a good 8 minutes, I'm gonna go just to get my fresh coffee. Because old coffee with milk tastes like shit. It doesn't taste good. Hence why what? Yeah. Ivan, did you try writing another fantasy novel? Yes, I did. I did. It was not bad, but I ended up quitting because I knew I can't top what I wrote for Xanus. If I want to write another fantasy novel, I have to write it in the same universe as Xanus. Like prequels, that's the only way I can actually tell a great story. Because Xanus is so good, I tried writing another fantasy story. I wrote a good like page of it. It was pretty good, but I ended up giving up. I'm like, this story's not as good as Xanus. I can't top. Xanus is so good, I can't untop that, right? It's the best fantasy novel ever. That's why I can't write another fantasy novel because that's how good Xanus is. It's so good. I could, I could write another fantasy novel, but it'll be a letdown. It will be good because I'm a creative genius. It'll still be pretty good. It will not be as good as Xanus. Xanus is a masterpiece, man. Xanus is a masterpiece, yeah. But I might perhaps write their unique. We'll see what happens. Once I get my book proven and it's on my cover, I might perhaps write their unique. That's more money for me and VJ, right? Make her like 24, 25 billion off the 2 books. Yeah. But I highly unlikely. I'm not going to write their unique. I'm just going to focus on Xanus. That's good enough for right now. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, it took you 8 years to write Xanus? Yes. I started brainstorming Xanus in late 2011. I remember late 2011, I brainstormed Xanus. I did not pen down my first prologue until 2013. So I brainstormed everything, an idea for my world, obviously, the north, the south, and all the worlds, the mass worlds, and everything. And then 2013 is when I penned out my first prologue. And then I've been inconsistent for years, obviously. Like in 2015, when I started my YouTube channel, when I was 23, when I talked about I'm currently writing a novel, I was like on chapter 4 back then. The Lithia chapter, right? I was on the Lithia chapter back then, yeah, chapter 4. Yeah, and I've been procrastinating. In 2019 is so 2011, I finished in 2020. But I started brainstorming towards the end of 2011, so it's about 8 years. It took me to write Xanus because of my procrastination, obviously. Yeah. Procrastination is the death of writing a book. Never procrastinate when you write a book. Otherwise, you're never going to finish it. And if you do finish it, you might finish it maybe 10, 15, 20 years later if you procrastinate. That's why procrastination, guys, all you aspiring authors, procrastination is a big no when you write a book. You have to set a goal. Okay, I recommend you set a goal to write 1,000. 5 pages is about 800 to 1,000 pages a day. So if you want to write a 60,000 word novel, you write 5 pages a day. In 2 months, you'll finish your book. You want to write a fantasy novel, a 100,000 word novel. Because fantasy novels are usually 100 plus thousand pages. In a good 5 months, you'll finish your book. Yeah, that's how I was able to finish things. I finally stopped procrastinating. Okay, Ivan, set a goal, and I set a goal, and I was writing 5 pages every day. Some weeks I procrastinated a little bit. I took 1-2 days off, but I was very consistent. Like I was writing good, like maybe 26 days out of the 30 days in a month I was writing. But some days I was a bit lazy. Okay, I'll take the day off, but I was very consistent with my writing when I wrote Xanus. That's how I was able to finish it. Huh. Yeah. 5 pages a day. So you write about 1,000 words a day. In 1 month, you wrote 30,000 words. 2 months, 60,000. Yeah, and so if you want to write a 100,000 word fantasy novel in a good 4.5 months, you'll finish your book. If you just set a goal for yourself. Because if you procrastinate, guys, all you aspiring authors, you're never going to finish your book. And if you do, it will take you years to finish it. And you don't want to have it take. I learned my lesson. It took me eight years to finish Xanus. You don't want to have it take 8, 9, 10 years to finish your book, right? That's my point, right? Yeah, that's my advice, obviously, to you guys. Avoid procrastination. Be consistent with your writing. And if you want to get better as a writer, constantly practice your writing. Read the greats, and even watch Brian Simon's lectures on YouTube. He has lectures on YouTube you can watch. Yeah. Nowadays, with technology, you don't even have to take creative writing classes and pay a lot of money for it. You can watch stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube to help you out, right? My channel helping you out, yeah. Obviously. Is it more important to read the books or practice your writing? Practicing your writing is number one. Reading those books can help you a little bit, but you gotta practice your writing. I recommend challenge yourself. Write like a 10,000, 5,000 page short story, then get people's feedback, and then that's how you keep writing. That's how you improve your writing. I'm saying. But writing fantasy is not easy, man. It's difficult writing fantasy because you have to create a believable world. You have to make your characters in that world feel believable. It's very difficult writing fantasy, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of aspiring authors. They all want to. I want to write a fantasy novel. Yeah, fantasy is arguably the most popular genre, right? For books, fantasy is very popular. There's a reason why Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are like number 1 and 2. And Game of Thrones, fantasy is a very, very popular genre in the author world, but it's difficult to get into, man. That's why a lot of authors avoid fantasy. They prefer to do romance or science fiction. Science fiction is pretty difficult too, but fantasy is even more difficult than science fiction. Because science fiction, there is realism in it. It's fake science, but there's realism in it. Whereas fantasy, it's all completely made up, man. You have to create a make-believe world. You have to make your characters not wolf for world too. That's why it's very difficult to write fantasy. That's why a lot of aspiring authors, avoid fantasy. Yeah, I want to write my own fantasy novel, but it's not easy. Fantasy is difficult, man. Yeah. Take that from me. I'm a creative genius, and even I had writer's block when I wrote Xanus, right? Even though I'm a creative genius, I had a little bit of writer's block when I wrote Xanus too, right? I wrote with ease, but I had writer's block in some chapters, obviously. Like the chapter I showed you, Land in Chaos, when she's like, put it in writing, they should not pass these sacred walls. I had writer's block in that chapter. But because I'm a creative genius, even that chapter is interesting too, as you guys read it, right? Yeah, I'm now sick too, yeah. I had writer's block in that chapter, I did. And what was Cyrus No More? Sorry, Secret Counsel and Surprising Arrival. I made an error there. I had writer's block in that chapter too. Hence why those 2 chapters are my worst chapters in the book when you read it. But some fans might even like Land in Chaos. Maybe that might be one of their favorites in Volume 2. I highly doubt, though. It's not the best one. The best ones are between Lithia, Takis or Colonius, and Axis of Savage. Those are my 3 best chapters. Capture and Land in Chaos are the worst ones. But even the Capture chapter is interesting, too. You know what I'm saying? This must be Galathia, the Great Forest. Yes, must be. And the Horde Valley is here. I can feel its darkness already emanating. I'm now sick, I know. What are you 2 murmuring about over there? I'm now sick, I know. Do not lie to me. Move it, scum. Move faster. No, I said, yeah, the wolves, yeah, demon wolves. Yeah, I'm now sick. I know, my book is sick. Even the wolves jump on a page, I know. They jump on a page. My book is sick. Yeah. Yeah. Your book is sick, man. I know, John. My book is sick. I was saying, yeah. I can't wait to be part of that movie. I know, John. Look at a sick movie, man. Yeah. Zane's is number one. Number one. Yeah. Okay, give me a second, guys. My coffee's ready. I'm going to go upstairs and get my coffee. I'll be back in a sec. See if we don't wait that for long. Alright, I'm back. Got my coffee, guys. Yeah. Ivan, you weren't as good of a writer before, a storyteller before? No, I wasn't. When I wrote my Islamic book, it was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as Xanus, man. Xanus was much better than that book. But that's how I practice my writing, man. I got better as a writer, you know. I wrote over 30,000 words of that book. 30,000 words is a good, 70 pages of a book, right? So I wrote a good, 65, 70 pages of that book. And that's how I got better as a writer. And when I wrote Xanus, I honed my craft and I was able to write an amazing story. But even as I wrote Xanus, I got better. As my original prologue was not as good as the one you guys read. I summarized it. It wasn't as good. Yeah. My original prologue was me telling what happened. Like Lord of the Rings, the movie, and Gerard Dogan describing stuff. Yeah, I described a bunch of stuff. I summarized the Tacti story, obviously, and I decided to rewrite it in the hospital, and that's why the one you guys read is my new prologue. I initially wrote a different prologue. I rewrote it. Was it good, Ivan? It was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as the one I showed you, right? The one I showed you, I actually show the story of Taki is what happens. The other one, it was a quick summary. I was telling what happened, and I described the castle. I was doing what Gerard Dogan was doing, the infodumps. I decided to change it, and I decided to show, not tell. One advice I'm going to give you, authors: show, don't tell. You want to keep the reader hooked. Show what happens. Don't tell too much. There's nothing wrong with telling a little bit. Even I tell a little bit. But focus on showing what's going on, and that makes the story more interesting, obviously. And showing means you focus more on characters. Telling means you focus more on infodumps. Show, don't tell. Yeah. Even the action sequences, don't just summarize it. Like my war, the war on becoming king is like a good, 70-page war, man. It's non-stop action. My last chapter I wrote, War on Becoming King, was 160 pages on my notebook, front and back. The longest chapter in my book. It's a very long chapter. And the majority of that book is Tactics and all them fighting, man. That's why my book is so sick. You have 80, 90 pages of fighting, 100 pages of fighting. It's crazy, yeah. Because I show what happens. I don't tell. That makes my action scenes more interesting too. My action scenes in my book are also sick too, man. You'll see them when you read my book, they're sick, yeah. Yeah. Hence why I didn't show you any of the action scenes, because I almost spoiled story for you. Those are interesting scenes too. I almost spoiled story for you, right? Yeah. So, what's your advice to aspiring authors? Show, don't tell. Focus more on your characters, less on your world building. Your world building is good too. Don't spend any more than a page describing stuff, guys. Otherwise, you're gonna bore the reader if you do that. I know, like, you're trying to wow the reader with your English literature. Yeah, it's beautifully written, but the story will be boring if you spend 3, 4, 5 pages describing stuff. Get to the point with the characters. But I told you, to write good characters, you also have to be creative too. You have to be able to write good dialogue, to tell a good story. And another advice I'll give you guys: keep the story pacing. Throw in a foreshadowing or a big climax at the end of your chapters. Because all my books, all my chapters have foreshadowing in it, and I always end it off with a climax of the story, a big climax of the story. Every chapter I end with a climax. A big foreshadowing or a big climax, and that keeps you turning the page. It keeps the story pacing. Keep the story pacing. Obviously, but to keep the story pacing, you got to be a good storyteller, which means you got to be pretty creative. Hence why it doesn't hurt to watch Brandon Sanders's lectures. It'll help you out, man, with your creativity, right, for your fantasy novel. And show, don't tell. Don't spend any more than a page or maybe a page and a half describing stuff. Get to the point with the characters, man. If you spend 4, 5, 6 pages doing that, with info dumps, you're gonna bore the reader, man. And they're gonna give up. They're gonna DNF your book, man. Yeah, man. There's a saying in the author world: DNF, did not finish. They're gonna DNF your book if you spend time dumping them with all this stuff, man. You're gonna bore the reader, man. That's why I don't do that. In my book, I don't spend any more. The max I ever spend describing stuff in a book is maybe 3/4 of a page, max. And I get right to the point with the characters, because that's what keeps it interesting. And your characters and story is more important than your world building. Characters are more important than your world building. Your world building is secondary, but your characters are number one. And your story. Story and characters number one. World building is secondary. A lot of these aspiring authors, they focus more on world building, less on characters. Don't do that. If you focus more on world building over the characters, you're gonna have a boring book, man. A pretty boring book. Yeah. And that's why Lord of the Rings, to me personally, even though it's a masterpiece, beautifully written, it's a bit boring, because J.R.R. Tolkien, he focuses more on his world building, less on his characters. Obviously, hence why his book is known as being a bit dry and boring when you read it. But Tolkien was a product of his time. He wrote Lord of the Rings in the 40s, the late 30s and the 40s. So you can tell when you read Tolkien compared to the authors now. Tolkien's style of writing is a bit dated, because Tolkien was born in a different time than we were, obviously. That's why his writing is a bit different than like Game of Thrones and Way of Kings, obviously, because he was born in a different generation, obviously. He was born at the dawn of the industrialization, right? In the late 1800s. Yeah. 1892 he was born, Tolkien. Yeah. That's why his writing style is a bit dated when you read it, obviously. When you read Lord of the Rings, he says the word alas a lot. Yeah, a lot of authors now don't say that, right? Because Tolkien wrote he was a product of his time. He wrote in a different generation, right? When he wrote Lord of the Rings. Hence why Lord of the Rings is a bit dated when you read it, compared to the fantasy books that come out today, right? Like Game of Thrones, Way of Kings, those amazing books. It's different, obviously, from Sarah. So you're saying George R. R. Martin, Brad Sanders, and J.K. Rowling are better writers than you? Well, by writing, what do you mean? Do you mean like the knowledge of the English literature, the richness of the world building? In that sense, they're better than me, obviously. But they're not better storytellers than me. My story is more entertaining. I know how to keep the story pacing. And at the end of the day, it comes down to entertainment. Yeah, they may have better world building and richer descriptions of the characters and the story and the world building and everything, but the story's not as entertaining. Last of Us is a more entertaining read, as you guys read. You guys read sections of my book, and you read Way of Kings and Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. And what book stands out more to you when you read it? Be honest. Your book, Ivan. Yeah, my book's more interesting, obviously. As my second one told me is number one. Yeah. Some Sarah. And so I read you, Ivan, did you really write that masterpiece on your own? I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit. Ivan, that was the greatest story you ever told. That was the best fantasy novel written, Ivan. I know, BJ. How much money did you make off your book, by the way? I made $10.8 million. You made $10.8 million off your book? I'm like, yes, I did. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, Ivan. I know, it's a lot of money. Yeah. Are you going to share that with me? I'm like, yeah, I will. Relax, man. Evil woman, yeah. Yeah. So VJ does want a piece of your buddies. Of course she does, man. Who doesn't want a piece of anyone of your? I'm VJ's husband. She wants a piece of my billions, obviously. That's why she cries to me. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, I want a piece of Ivan's. I don't know, $10.8 million. I want to go clothes shop with him, get nice clothes with him, and shoes and purses. I want to get nice cars with him, build that 500 house with him, buy the jet and the yachts with him. Yeah. Be a movie star with him, sign that Mega 8020 with Amazon with him, be featured in a magazine, travel with him. Yeah, she's crazy, BJ. See the light, yeah, that's why she cries every day. But I ignore her because she's gonna keep seeing the guys after that. I can't take BJ seriously. She's a crazy woman. Yeah, a couple hours after you stop crying, I hear you moaning again, and that's why I can't take BJ seriously. She's a crazy woman who just keeps banging guys after she cries. And that's why I'm gonna get my girlfriend, BJ. If you're pissed off, I'm sorry. Karma is a bitch. I'm not gonna listen to you either, man. You'll listen to me. I'm not gonna listen to you either, man. You can cry heavy years and say it hurts. The numbers are still on your phone. You're gonna keep texting guys and saying, I'm not gonna let you do like that, BJ. Because you're selfish. You want your full cake. I'm not gonna let you do it, man. No way. Don't hate me, son. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So, Ivan, you're not really officially done the book. I finished the book, but I'm not really officially done because I'm going over volume 3, polishing it up a little bit. So that way you know who's talking. And I also have to get it proofread, and I have to design my cover. And once that's done, now it's ready to be released on Lulu. And I might consider writing their unique, but I highly doubt it. I'm not going to write their unique. It's too stressing on me. I don't want to save another $2,000 to get a proofread of it. But saving $2,000 is not hard. I just got to be disciplined, right? Yeah. So, Ivan, you see a common thing going on with aspiring authors. Yes, there's a blog called Fantasy Writers Reddit where all these aspiring authors, they post their material on the blog, and I always catch the info dumping that they do, man. They try their best to wow you with the English literature, less on wowing you with telling a compelling story. Like, yeah, your English is beautiful, but the story's not going anywhere. It's boring, man. Don't focus on info dumps and trying to wow the reader with your English literature. Like, there's nothing wrong with wowing them with English literature, but spend maybe a page and a half doing that and get to the point with the story. Because if you keep dumping them with just pages of what the character's thinking, what the landscape's like and everything, you're going to bore the reader, man, if you do that, man. And I caught that when I read some of the stuff on there. Yeah, they're better writers than me, but they don't know how to tell a good story. Those guys, some of them, some of the stuff there's pretty good, but a lot of them they always do the info dumps when they just try to wire you with English literature, and it's boring. The story's not going anywhere. You're not pacing the story because they don't. Those guys don't have the heavenly gift. They don't know how to really pace a story and tell an entertaining story like me, right? Yeah. Some Sarah. So if you don't want to be an author when you're king, no. I want to be a movie star. I don't want to be an author, man. It's not my dream. Being a movie star is way more cooler, man. You sign that mega deal on Amazon, you get featured on the magazines, you get featured on the red card event, and the posters and everything. It's way more cool to be a movie star. If you will tell me, yeah, I don't want to write books. I want to be a movie star with you. And we end up starting Scotch Name together, me, Jim. We're now the most famous movie stars in the world. Yeah. Highest paid movie stars in the world. Most famous movie stars in the world. More famous than all the Hollywood celebrities. Way more famous than all of them, yeah. It's crazy. Number one trending thing on X every day, right? It's crazy, yeah. Yeah. But because of I'm such an amazing author, some fans are gonna tell me, Ivan, you should write more books, man. You're such an amazing author, Ivan. I know, but like it's not my dream, man. My dreams movies are really just not being an author. So, yeah. Yeah. I haven't shows Volume 3. No, guys. I'm not showing Volume 3. I don't want to spoil story for you, man. Yeah. I show you Volume 3, I'm going to spoil the story for you. You guys will know what happens. And the story's now ruined, right? You'll still purchase it, but you now know what happens. As I already spoiled quite a bit of Volume 1 and Volume 2 for you. I don't want to spoil any more of the story for you, man. So certainly read the book. I won't spoil the story for you. Yeah. Is Volume 3 the longest? Yes, Volume 3 is the longest volume. It has the least chapters. It only has 4 chapters, but the chapters are very long. Volume 3 will be a good maybe 350 pages around there. Yeah, I wrote 100 plus pages for each chapter for Volume 3. Yeah. Like, Unexpected Journey is like 100, like, I don't know, like 20, 30 pages. What was Cyrus and More is like 100 plus pages. Walking with the Answers is like 130 pages, and the last chapter, Warren Becoming King, is 100 like 60 pages, 65 pages. I wrote in my notebook, and so my book might be like a 900 maybe page book maybe. I think 800 around there will be my 800 page book. My book will be around there. Yeah. Whereas volume one is short. Volume one's not that long. The chapters are short. I believe Young Takis is the longest chapter in volume one, I think. It's the longest one, yeah. When you read it. All my other chapters are short. Yeah. Volume one might be maybe 160 pages. Volume two, maybe 250 pages around there. 270 pages. And volume three, maybe 350, 370 pages. So you're looking at like an 800, 850 page book around there. Perhaps 900. I think 750 to 900 page book my book will be. Probably 800 plus. 800, 850 page book. It's a long book, but it's not as long as like Way of Kings and Game of Thrones. Those books are long. They're 1,000 plus pages, man. Game of Thrones and Way of Kings are long fucking books. My book is not that long. But it's more entertaining, right? As you guys read, right? Yeah. 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 Almost in the video, guys. Yeah. So, Ivan, you will have a blast experience being a famous author. Yeah, being a famous author is cool too, obviously. It's going to be cool knowing I wrote a masterpiece and it's the best. It's the number one book ever, novel ever sold. Number one fantasy book series ever sold. Obviously, it'll beat out Harry Potter. And I'm successful with everything. But then, like, I experienced being a famous author for maybe a good year. Then after that, me, VJ, we start Scotch Entertainment, and now I'm a famous movie star. I experienced being a famous movie star with VJ. Feature on the red carpet event and everything, yeah. But guaranteed I will go on a book tour. For Xanus too, right? Yeah, for the book. I'm gonna have my email information, and I received loads of I received like maybe 25 emails. We want to interview you, Ivan. Yeah, if it's only like 20 interviews, I can hire the doc team in Vancouver. They can film it, my interviews, and I post it on my website. Obviously, yeah, but highly unlikely. Yeah, it's all behind the scenes. You gotta reserve, man. You want to keep behind the scenes, and it's behind the scenes, and you're missing out, man. It's your fault, not my fault. You guys are fucking stupid people. You have seen Ivan O'Mara Victoria Justice in the public eye. That glory, and you chose to be stupid, man, because you're fucking repping people, man. Yeah, man. Oh, my God. And now you're pissed off. It's all behind the scenes. You're missing out. Yeah, it's your fault. I set the whole thing up. You have the two choices. You made your choice, man. It's too late. You can't turn back time, man. There you go. Some Sarah. Well, if you go book touring, will a lot of aspiring authors ask you questions? Yeah, they will. They're going to ask me for advice and everything, and I'm going to tell you what I'm telling you now. That's my advice. Are you going to tell them they have to have their creative gift? No, I'm not going to put them down. But the truth is, man, if you don't have a bit of creativity in your brain, you're going to have a very tough time paying off Amazon. Well, I'm not going to tell the guys that. I'll tell them, don't give up. Just keep practicing your writing and watch Brandon Sanderson's lectures on YouTube. That will help you out a lot. I saw a bit of his clips. Brandon Sanderson knows his shit. He's very, very talented, and he has amazing lectures on YouTube for you to watch. I recommend you guys watch that. It'll help you out a lot. But the best advice I can give you is practice your writing. Challenge yourself. Write a 5,000, 10,000 word short story. Get feedback. And if you get bad feedback, learn from the feedback. I go back and keep practicing your writing and keep watching Brandon Sanderson's lectures, and that'll help you out a little bit. Sarah? And that's how you get better as a writer. The best way to get better as a writer is you got to keep practicing, man. Hone your craft. And that's how you get better. And who knows, you might get published one day if you want to seriously publish. I recommend you don't seriously publish. I recommend you self-publish, but if you want to seriously publish and be famous, if you want to be a famous author, then traditional publishing is the way to go. Because for traditional publishing, you'll have your books sold at like Barnes and Noble's, Chapters in Canada, all these big bookstores around the world and everything. You get your book signing sessions, you get interview at large venues if your book's a hit, but you lose control over your novel and you're their puppet, man. The book publishing houses, they own your novel and you're their puppet. And they put pressure on you. Yeah, I want you to write a 3-book series, and they're going to put pressure on you to write a 3-book series. Yeah, they're going to put pressure on you, the book publishing houses. Well, self-publishing, you can take your time. It's your business. It's your book, 100% yours. It costs more money. You have to get it proofread. You have to design your cover and everything. And your books will not be at the bookstores. You sell it online on Lulu, Amazon, or your website, whatever it is. But you maintain full control over your novel. And you can take your time writing your series. Some siren. And that's why I think self-publishing is better than traditional publishing, because you own 100% of the rights of your novel. Traditional publishing, you lose your control over the controlling right of your novel, man. So your film rights, your international rights, your audiobook rights, even your gaming rights, you lose control of all that if you're traditional publishing. Traditionally publish. But you get to the only good thing about traditional publishing, you get to be famous, and the publishing houses will handle all the dirty work for you. The editors will help you with your book. But if they want to change stuff, they have the power to change your characters, change your story, and change your title. You have no say in that, man. You're their puppet, man. You lose control over every novel if you're just being published. That's the truth. Well, self-publishing is 100% yours. It's like your own book business, right? Self-publishing. And you make more money. But you're not going to get interviewed at doing Fallon Show and have book signing sessions and everything. But you might get a few YouTube interviews here and there if you self-publish. But if you want to be simple and richer, then self-publishing is the way to go. If you want to be a famous author, a famous rich author, then traditional publishing is obviously the better path for you. But I'm just saying, if you're traditionally published, it's a daunting process. You have to find a literary agent, which can take time. It can take years. Loads of rejections, and after that, and when you find a literary agent, now your literary agent has to find you a book publishing deal from a book publishing company, and chances are you're not going to be signed with the big five book publishing companies. Chances are you're going to be signed with maybe an independent one. It's very difficult to get into the book publishing and the big book publishing houses, right? Like Penn House. Penn House is the biggest book publishing company in the world. I guarantee the gatekeepers will tell me, yeah, and we'll put you with the best publishing house in the world, Penn House. My guys, man, I have my own keys. I don't need to open door from you. I'm not selling you guys, man. This book is mine. I'm self-publishing on Lulu. I have the keys. I don't have to fucking sell to you, man. This is my brand. I don't want anyone to control my brand. You know, Sarah? Yeah, man. Some Sarah? Yeah. And all you aspiring authors who want to self-publish, I recommend you self-publish on Lulu, because Lulu, you take 80% of the pie. Only if you sell directly on Lulu. So they have something called print on demand. Print on demand means they only make the book once the book has been purchased. Then they start printing the book. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm selling my book directly on Lulu. That's why I get my 80%. Whereas if you don't sell directly on Lulu, and let's say you sell your book on Lulu, but you partner with like Amazon, because in Lulu you can do that. You partner with Amazon and other. You sell your book in other platforms around the world. You won't make your 80%. You might make your maybe 50%, 55%. But if you sell directly on Lulu, print on demand, you get your 80%. But because I have the keys, I don't have to worry about getting the word out there. Whereas a lot of these authors, they want to get the word out there, hence they partner with Lulu. But Lulu, you have an option to partner with Amazon and other distributors around the world. That way you get worldwide distribution. But if you do that, you won't get your 80%. You'll get your maybe 50% of the money. Whereas directly on Lulu, so my ebook I sell directly on Lulu. My book I sell print on demand on Lulu, and I get my 80%. I'm not partnering with the worldwide distribution with Amazon and all those guys. It's directly on Lulu. That's how I make my 80%. So sorry. Lulu is a good company. You get 80% if you sell directly on the site. If you don't sell directly on the site and you partner with other companies with Lulu, you won't make your 80%. You'll make maybe your 50%, which is still way more than what you're making for traditional publishing, right? Yeah. Lulu's a big company. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They have worldwide distribution too. They're not as big as Amazon and other companies, but they're a big company. They're a multi-billion-dollar big company, Lulu. That's why I'm selling my book on Lulu. Yeah. Sarah? Yeah. That's why Xanus was the best fantasy novel written and with the best movie ever made. Anyways, guys, here's the video. I talked for 9 minutes. That's good enough. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow morning. And after I make my video, I'm going to clean my room. obviously, I'm gonna upload this video, and I'm gonna bike to Chateau Cartier. I'm gonna apply there. I'm also gonna apply to Elmer Barbecue and other places. And I'll enjoy the show, but maybe a bit after you guys. It's Zionmer. I'm signing up. Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Peace out, guys.